Sometimes money doesn't hit like panic. It shows up quietly, almost unnoticed, when you're not even trying to think about it. This video is for those moments. I was looking at my bank app earlier, not even to do anything, just staring at the numbers and letting the feeling pass. It wasn't fear, just wait. Some days it's not a crisis. It's a quiet heaviness that sits with you while you make coffee and start your day. And it usually shows up when you're already tired. What if the hardest part about money isn't the numbers at all? What if it's the quiet moment where you admit how heavy it makes you feel? Most people never say that part out loud, especially when they're supposed to have it together. Hi, I'm Bella, and this is Money Talk with Bella. This space exists because money is never just money. It's tied to identity, pressure, and self-worth. Here, we slow things down and tell the truth without judgment. Today isn't about fixing your money or finding the perfect strategy. It's about sitting with the truth that money can feel hard sometimes, even when you're doing your best. If that feels familiar, stay with me until the end. There's this quiet pressure to act like everything is under control, especially around money. Even when things feel uncertain, we're expected to look confident and composed. Inside, though, there's often a completely different story happening. Saying money is hard doesn't feel neutral for most of us. It can feel like we're admitting something about our intelligence, our discipline, even our value. That's why those words can feel so heavy to say out loud. So instead of naming it, we soften the truth. We joke about it, change the subject, or brush it off quickly. And that unspoken tension just lingers quietly in the background. I remember moments when nothing was technically wrong, yet I still felt behind compared to everyone else. On paper, things looked fine, but inside, there was this quiet sense that I was falling short somehow. I told myself I was being dramatic, that other people had it worse and I should just be grateful. But minimizing my own feelings didn't make me stronger. It just made me feel more alone. There were times I avoided money conversations, not because I didn't care, but because I cared too much. Every question felt loaded. Like one wrong answer would expose something I wasn't ready to explain. Admitting that money felt hard was like taking off armor I'd been wearing for years. I wasn't sure if I could protect myself without it, but I knew pretending was heavier than the truth. I think a lot of us grew up believing struggle was supposed to be temporary, something you fix quickly or keep quiet about until it passes. And when it doesn't pass, it can feel like you're doing adulthood wrong. Money quietly becomes the scoreboard for adulthood. It's how we judge stability, success, and whether we're on track, even though real life rarely moves in straight lines. So when money feels heavy, we assume it's personal, like everyone else got a guidebook we somehow missed. That quiet comparison can be heavier than the numbers themselves. What actually changes when you let yourself admit, even quietly, that this is hard? Not out loud, not to fix it, just letting the truth exist for a moment. Sometimes the relief comes before any solution does. If money didn't say anything about your worth, what would you start noticing instead? Maybe your effort, your discipline, or the fact that you're still showing up. Those things matter more than most balance sheets ever show. And if you didn't have to sound okay, who could you actually talk to? Not to complain, but to be real. Sometimes the strongest move is choosing honesty over performance. We don't have to answer that right now. Not every money question needs a solution today. Sometimes the most grounded thing you can do is stop pushing for clarity. Just letting the questions sit can be enough for now. You're allowed to pause without falling behind. Rest is not avoidance, it's part of being steady with money. Sometimes naming the feeling is the whole moment. You don't need a plan, to be honest. Saying this feels hard is already a kind of clarity. If this felt familiar, you're not alone in it. Sometimes the most powerful thing is realizing that the weight you feel around money is shared by more people than you think. If this conversation gave you even a little space to breathe, you can support it by liking the video and subscribing. And if someone in your life might need a softer money conversation, sharing this could be the quiet help they didn't know they needed. This is Money Talk with Bella, where clarity matters more than pretending you're fine. I'd love to hear in the comments, what does money feels hard mean for you right now? Because money is never just money, and I'm really glad you're here.